We are talking World Cup. Jude LaCava, along with the head coach of the Arizona United Soccer Club, Mike Dellorusso. Mike, I have to get right down to the story of the moment, the blowout. Germany just crushes Brazil. How does that happen in a semifinal game?
I don't know. Yeah, you know, I have as many questions as most people do. Germans are organized, though. They came to play. And once they got 1-2 goals, you kind of saw it on Brazilians' face. I think the pressure over the last couple of months all added up, and they essentially imploded.
They imploded on the worst possible stage at the worst possible time, but this is a validation of the way Germany plays soccer. How will this change the game globally?
Oh, well, I mean, obviously, you know, a lot of people love the way Spain played, love the way Barcelona played. They had great success, so many people try to mimic those ways. Now you see a little bit more of the German style, the way Netherlands play. They like to sit in, they like to counter, they're very organized. So across the board, it may change a little bit, but everybody's going to, you know, have their own way of playing their own brand. And you just see, you know, the European countries are finding a little bit more success right now.
When you look at Team USA's run, I want to have that translate to soccer in America, because we've had this debate on this very set. You know, you got the soccer haters out there, and then you got people saying it's a locomotive and it's coming and nothing's going to stop soccer in America. How will their run in this cup, Coach Klinsmann and Team USA, feed the growth of soccer, and will it carry for the next 4 years?
Yeah, I definitely think it will. You know, it's a great time for MLS right now. They're signing, you know, younger European guys that want to come over and play, but also the organization of U.S. soccer as a whole, you know, is going to play a big role in the next 4 years. It's going to be very interesting to see how Klinsmann manages, you know, the growth of the sport in our country. You know, a lot of younger guys are getting into it, and I think they're trying to, you know, essentially get a little bit more organization to it and across the board. I think it's going to be huge, and it's very exciting. You know, and then MLS, what they've done as far as their TV rights go, and huge deals that they're signing, and big impact that they're playing on, you know, not just the young population, but also, you know, the population that didn't grow up with soccer. And I think they're making a big splash.
You actually played grew up with Kyle Beckerman of Team USA, and you get a really unique perspective. I look at this line of demarcation, and I know some people aren't going to like this, but older folks over the age of, let's say, 40, 45 are going to say, I'm still a meat and potatoes, you know, football, baseball, basketball guy. But there's no denying, and in our last debate, the millennials, the teenage kids through their 20s, they're all in. They're watching EPL games, and they're not going to relent in their interest in this game. Explain and translate that for us.
Yeah, I think it's huge. The last few years, obviously, it's been the biggest growing sport in this country. Everybody's grown up playing it. I'm first-generation soccer, but I know my kids will be following soccer. And it's just about educating those people. And also what we've done a great job is make it social in our country. If you look across the board, especially in the United States with the World Cup, you know, people get together, they get to grab some beers, they're all cheering for the same thing. They're really, you know, buying into it. And I think that plays a big role. And you mentioned it with EPL. It gives, you know, people of that generation something to do on a Saturday morning. It's not wrong to go to the bar on a Saturday morning now.
It's become part of the culture, but you've also said something interesting recently. They said, wait till the LeBron James of the world start playing soccer. I mean, we're seeing better athletes over the last 15, 20 years, no question about that. But expound on that. What do you mean?
I mean, that's what we create, and that's what the United States create, is probably some of the best athletes in the world. And what they usually go towards is basketball, football. And I see more and more younger kids of that athletic ability now translating into soccer and wanting to play soccer. And if you look across the EPL, why do they have such good athletes there? It's because the best athletes in England, the best athletes in Europe are all playing soccer. That's what they love to do. And now, you know, the U.S. is catching up a little bit, and once that generation goes a little bit more towards soccer, I think it's really going to help us.
I don't think there's any question, too, when it comes to the growth in this country demographically of the Hispanic community. Beyond pro football, the next favorite sport is MLS. That's a fact.
That's huge. It's absolutely huge, and it just shows how much there's love for the game around here.
Let's get into Arizona United. Now, you've got a game coming up against Orange County. Give us an Arizona perspective of where this is at, because many hope and dream of a day where the Valley, Arizona, will have their own MLS team. Is it possible? Do you see that day?
Definitely, I think. You know, it's top 5, 6 media market in the country. That alone, you know, should entice the MLS, especially with the exposure that they've signed recently with their TV deal. But also you see around here, it's the fastest growing sport. There's club teams all across the valley that are all looking to compete, all love the sport, and that generation is now coming up. And it's, you know, the 15 to 20-year-olds that are now coming up that live here, that are permanent residents here. And I think, you know, the popularity is huge here.
Mike, what do you say that I don't want to say hater, but that non-believer that says, you know, I'm kind of a baseball, basketball, football guy, and maybe it is generational. Maybe it is that older white guy that says, you know, I just can't dive in. Do you try to sell them? Do you say either get on the bus or we'll see you later? How do you approach that debate?
I don't think so. You can't take away from what the U.S. has, and that's diversity. It's across the board diversity. We talk about it with soccer, how there's different ways to play. But also, you're going to have people that like different sports, and that's what's so good about our country. So you can't try to change those people, but, you know, you are going to have to, you know, just go towards them a little bit as far as just they have to accept the fact that soccer is what it is around here. It's getting big. Whether they like it or not, whether they're going to jump on it or not, you know, that's up to them.
Arizona United head coach Mike Dellorusso, as we give you an Arizona perspective as we continue to stay on the semifinal from the World Cup today. Thank you.